You probably have an OKR doc, a project board, a calendar, a notes app, and now 3 different AI workspaces. And yet, when you sit down on Monday and ask, what am I actually committed to this week? You still have to think hard. That gap, the space between all your tools and a single definitive answer, is where you lose leverage. It's where you overcommit, undercommunicate, and rely on memory as glue. And memory is the least scalable system in your stack.
And the irony is, the more senior you get, the worse this fragmentation becomes. Your calendar looks full, your dashboards look impressive, your AI agents are busy generating output, but there's still no one canonical page that says in plain language, here's what matters this week. Here's what you've actually bet on.
Today, we're going to fix that by giving your clarity an address, a single page that sits above your tools, above your agents, and answers one question. What is true about my commitments right now?
This is the Agentic Executive. I'm Adrian Cross.
And I'm Amelia Voss. In the next few minutes, we'll walk you through the executive single source of truth, one page that runs your week, aligns your tools, and gives your AI something solid to orbit around.
Let's start by defining it, quickly and cleanly. When we say executive single source of truth, we're not talking about another dashboard, a complex Notion workspace, or a new project management tool. It's a one-page hub that does 3 things. First, it sits above your tools. It doesn't replace them, it orchestrates them. Second, it captures live commitments, not wishes. If it's on this page, it's something you're actually on the hook for. Third, it's the front door. You start your workday here, and everything else is one click away.
Think of it as the executive brief for you. The system reveals the truth, and this page is where you tell the system what's true right now. Your goals, your active bets, your real weekly focus, and the few metrics that actually move the needle.
If your calendar answers the question, where are you spending time? This page answers, why are you spending it there, and what are you progressing? Clarity is leverage. This is how you compress that clarity into one view.
We'll build it in 3 moves. Define, distill, dock. Move 1, define. Decide what earns a spot on this page.
Here's the rule set. 3 to 5 goals, 3 to 5 current strategic bets, 1 clear weekly focus, 3 to 5 key metrics, and, if you're honest enough, your critical risks.
Let's unpack those quickly. Goals are your medium-term targets. Think quarters, not decades. Ship the new onboarding flow by end of Q2. Reach 20% AI-driven revenue by year-end. They provide direction, but they're still too abstract to run your week. Bets are more concrete. They're the strategic moves you're actively pushing right now to hit those goals. Things like run 3 pricing experiments this month, or implement an AI triage agent for support tickets. Patterns create power, and your bets are the patterns you're actively testing.
Then you have this week's focus. Singular. If you have 7 top priorities, you have none. On your SSOT, this is a single plain language line. This week is about landing the Q2 hiring plan, or this week is about getting the pilot customer live. Everything else orbits that. Key metrics, 3 to 5 numbers, max, not the entire company dashboard. Just the ones that, if they moved in the wrong direction for 2 weeks, you'd immediately pick up the phone. Revenue run rate, churn, active users, maybe one operational indicator like cycle time or backlog.
And then critical risks. This is the uncomfortable but high leverage section. 1 to 3 statements like, we don't have a backup plan if the new hire falls through, or we're over-reliant on one enterprise customer. Precision drives agency. Naming risk is the first step to doing something about it.
If you stop here, you already have a better weekly cockpit than most operators. But the real leverage comes from the next move, Distill.
Move 2. Distill. This is where you use AI as a compression engine, not a distraction engine.
Your world is full of long artifacts, strategy docs, email threads, Slack channels, product specs, investor updates. None of those belong on your SSOT. What belongs are distilled bullets that represent real commitments and next moves.
Here's a simple workflow. Step 1, pull up a long doc, say the roadmap for your new AI product. Step 2, ask your AI assistant, summarize this into 3 bullets, 1 for the core goal, 1 for the active bet this quarter, and 1 for what I'm personally accountable for this week. Now, you don't paste the AI output blindly. You treat it as a draft. You tighten the language until it passes the executive test. If someone else read this bullet, would they know exactly what you're committed to do or to drive?
The same applies to threads and meetings. After a messy Slack conversation, you tell your AI, turn this thread into 2 bullets, 1 decision we made, 1 action I own this week. Your SSOT only gets the decision and the action, not the drama around it.
A useful constraint. No section on your page gets more than 5 bullets. If you find yourself adding a 6th, something needs to be combined, dropped, or delegated. This forces you to confront trade-offs instead of hiding them in more text.
And notice what you're not doing. You're not copying your entire task list. You're not turning this into a mini project management board. This is a commitments page, not a to-do list. If you respect that distinction, the page stays light enough that you actually use it.
Move 3. Doc. This is where the page stops being a pretty summary and becomes the control panel for your work. Docking means every bullet on the page is clickable. Each one is a front door into the system that does the work. The bullet is the headline. The link is the machinery.
For example, your bet might read, run 3 pricing experiments this month, and that arrow links straight to the project board column where those experiments live. Or, pilot AI support triage with Team A this week, and that link opens the doc where the agent's prompts and metrics live.
You can do the same with your calendar. Your weekly focus bullet can link to a calendar view filtered to the relevant blocks. If the week is about the hiring plan, clicking that bullet shows the interviews, the working sessions, and the decision meeting. 1 click from intent to time allocation.
And for AI agents, docking is crucial. If you have an agent that drafts investor updates, your SSOT might have a bullet, Weekly Investor Snapshot, which links directly to the agent workspace or the latest draft. The message to your tools is clear. Everything important has a front door on this page.
A page like this only works if it stays alive. That brings us to the maintenance cadence.
You need 2 recurring checkpoints, a Monday start and a Friday review, 10 to 15 minutes each. That's it. Less time than you currently spend hunting through tabs to remember what you promised people.
On Monday, you open your SSOT first, not email, not Slack. You scan your goals, your bets, your metrics, and you define your single weekly focus. Then you adjust your calendar and tasks to match the page, not the other way around. Make your next move count by starting from intent.
On Friday, you do a simple debrief. What moved, what stalled, which bullets are now done, which are rolling forward, and which no longer matter. You update the page in plain language. The system reveals the truth, and the truth is whatever still earns a line here at the end of the week.
If you hold that cadence for a few weeks, you'll notice a subtle shift. You stop asking, where was that thing again? And start asking, does this deserve space on the page? That's how you turn a simple doc into an operating system for your attention.
Now, where does AI fit into this, beyond summarizing?
2 roles, updater and advisor. As an updater, AI pulls from your tools and drafts changes for the page. As an advisor, it treats the page as the canonical source of what matters and shapes its suggestions around it.
On the updater side, you can ask an agent, review my calendar, task list, and top project board, then propose updates to my SSOT, new bets, updated status, and what my real weekly focus should be, based on where my time is actually going. You still approve the changes, but you offload the detective work. On the advisor side, whenever you're planning, you anchor your prompt to the page. For example, using the priorities and bets on my SSOT, propose 3 ways to reallocate my time next week for higher leverage. AI becomes alignment aware instead of just context hungry.
The principle is simple. Your SSOT tells AI what game you're playing. Without it, agents optimize for generic productivity. With it, they optimize for your specific commitments and constraints.
Let's stress test this and look at how the system fails when people misuse it.
First failure mode. You turn the SSOT into yet another dashboard. You import every KPI, every project, every status field. It becomes dense, pretty, and completely unusable day to day. Remember the constraints. 1 page, capped bullets, live commitments only.
Second, you let it drift out of date. That happens when you treat it as a one-time setup exercise instead of a weekly ritual. The moment your page stops matching reality, your brain stops trusting it. And once trust drops, you're back to operating from memory and scattered tools.
Third, you fill it with vanity metrics and vague aspirations. Be more strategic, grow the brand, increase innovation. None of those belong here. If you can't attach a clear bet, a metric, or a concrete weekly move to it, it doesn't earn space on the page.
So the guardrails are keep it lean, keep it live, and keep it concrete. If you follow those, your SSOT becomes an asset, not another artifact gathering dust. Let's land this with a simple action you can take today. Open your notes tool of choice. Notion, Obsidian, Google Docs, it doesn't matter. Create a single page titled Executive Single Source of Truth. Give it just 3 sections to start. Goals, bets, this week.
Under goals, list 3 to 5 concrete outcomes for the next quarter. Under bets, list 3 to 5 active moves you're making to hit those goals. Under this week, write 1 sentence that defines your true weekly focus, and then add 3 supporting bullets that represent the key moves you'll make.
Then pin that page. Make it your default work home. Tomorrow morning, start there. Ask yourself, does my calendar reflect this page? Do my agents and tools line up with these bets? If not, adjust them. Clarity is leverage, but only if you let it drive behavior.
If you want more 10-minute briefings that turn alignment into leverage in a world of AI and fragmented tools, follow the show, hit subscribe in your podcast app, and make sure this feed is one of the few you actually listen to every day.
You're listening to the Agentic Executive. Make your next move count. Stay agentic.